Hello, friends. Welcome to Hollywood Cine Mysteries. Before we begin, please comment, share, and subscribe to Hollywood Cine Mysteries and press the bell icon, because today's story will take you deep into a world of secrets, danger, hidden identities, and an ordinary man who is suddenly pulled into a life he never asked for. This is not just a story of action. It is a story of identity, truth, and survival, the rise of an accidental hero. The story centers on Buck Ewan, a simple and cheerful fitness equipment salesman, living a routine life in Hong Kong. He is energetic, talkative, and always chasing small dreams of excitement. But in reality, his life is ordinary and predictable. He is not trained in combat, not connected to any intelligence agency, and certainly not someone who ever imagined becoming a hero. But fate has a strange way of rewriting ordinary lives. One day, while going about his normal routine, Buck finds himself unexpectedly caught in a violent robbery at a jewelry store. Panic fills the air as armed criminals take control of the situation. Most people freeze, but Buck reacts on pure instinct. With no training, no plan, and no fear of consequences, he fights back using whatever he can find around him. It is chaotic, clumsy, and unpredictable, but somehow effective. Against all odds, Buck manages to stop the robbery. His actions are recorded, and within days, he becomes an unexpected public sensation. Newspapers call him a hero. People admire him. But Buck himself feels confused rather than proud. This sudden attention, however, does not go unnoticed. A mysterious private detective approaches him, claiming that Buck's instincts are exactly what are needed for a sensitive case. At first, Buck refuses, but the detective reveals something unsettling. This mission is connected to Buck's past, especially the mysterious disappearance and death of his father. That single truth changes everything. The dangerous descent. What begins as curiosity slowly turns into a deadly journey. Buck is pulled into an international web of crime involving illegal biological weapons and powerful syndicates operating across multiple countries, including Korea, Turkey, and various hidden locations across Europe and Asia. At first, Buck believes he is simply helping investigate his father's past. But the deeper he goes, the more dangerous it becomes. He is no longer just a helper. He is now part of the system's target list. Every clue he uncovers leads to more confusion. Secret labs, hidden transactions, fake identities, and a recurring name that keeps appearing in classified files. His father. Then comes a shocking truth. Buck's father was not just an ordinary man. He was a covert intelligence agent involved in stopping illegal weapons development. His so-called death was not an accident. It was a carefully covered-up operation. Buck's emotional world collapses. He realizes that his entire life has been built on a lie. The father he thought he lost was part of a hidden war. And now, somehow, Buck has been dragged into that same war without training or preparation. The extended mystery, unveiling the layers. As Buck moves deeper into conspiracy, he begins to understand something even more terrifying. He is not just a witness to these events. He is a target. A secret experimental program is underway, designed to test the effectiveness of a mass destruction biological weapon. And Buck, unknowingly, has become part of a real-world test scenario. Every step he takes is monitored. Every decision he makes is predicted. He is being observed like a subject inside a controlled experiment, pushed towards specific outcomes to measure human survival behavior under extreme pressure. Is he a weapon being shaped, or is he just a disposable pawn in someone else's game? The uncertainty eats away at him. For the first time, Buck is forced to face not only external enemies, but also his internal fear. He is alone in unfamiliar countries, surrounded by people who may kill him at any moment. He has no backup, no intelligence training, and no clear direction. Yet somehow, survival becomes instinctive. He starts adapting. He learns to read situations faster, react quicker, and trust no one completely. Each encounter becomes more dangerous than the last. High-speed chases through narrow streets, escapes through collapsing buildings, and close confrontations with highly trained assassins. In one intense sequence, Buck is trapped inside a heavily guarded facility designed like a psychological maze. The environment is intentionally built to break intruders mentally before physically eliminating them. But instead of surrendering to fear, Buck begins to think differently. He uses observation instead of force, improvisation instead of planning, Instinct instead of training. He turns the system against itself. Walls become escape routes. Everyday objects become tools of survival. Confusion becomes his advantage. Slowly, he begins dismantling pieces of the criminal network. Not as a trained spy, but as a man who refuses to die. The final trap and rising resolve. Eventually, the organization realizes Buck is not following their expected behavior pattern. He is adapting too quickly. This makes him dangerous. So they design a final trap. A controlled environment where Buck is deliberately guided into what appears to be a safe meeting point, but in reality, it is a heavily secured execution zone. Armed operatives surround the area. Surveillance systems track every movement, and escape routes are sealed in advance. This is meant to be the end of Buck Ewan. For the first time, Buck feels the full weight of everything. His father's past, the conspiracy, the lies, and the people who died because of the secret war. But something inside him changes. Instead of running, he chooses to stand his ground. Not because he is fearless, but because he has nothing left to ignore. The truth has already taken everything from him. Now he decides to face it. The final confrontation. What follows is a brutal sequence of survival and resistance. Buck fights not like a soldier, but like someone refusing to be controlled any longer. He uses the environment creatively, breaking barriers, escaping traps, and turning enemy tactics against them. Every moment is a struggle between chaos and control. The organization underestimates him, expecting him to break under pressure. But Buck continues moving forward, step by step, dismantling their structure from the inside. In the final confrontation, Buck faces the core operators behind the conspiracy. This is not just a physical battle. It is a clash of truth versus deception, freedom versus control. The system that tried to turn him into a subject finally meets resistance. It cannot fully predict. And Buck, once an ordinary salesman, becomes the unexpected disruption in a carefully built global operation. He doesn't win through perfection. He wins through persistence. The transformation. In the aftermath, Buck Ewan does not become a traditional spy, nor does he join any secret agency. He becomes something else entirely. A man who survived the truth. A man who refused to be broken by systems designed to control him. A man who accidentally stepped into a world of spies, lies, and weapons, and walked out with humanity still intact. His journey proves that heroism is not always planned. Sometimes it is forced upon ordinary people who have no choice but to rise. Outro. Friends, this story is a reminder that life often chooses us. Not because we are ready, but because we must become ready. Sometimes the greatest strength is not training or power, but the ability to adapt when everything falls apart. If you enjoyed this deep cinematic journey, don't forget to like this video, comment your favorite moment, share it with your friends. Subscribe to Hollywood Cine Mysteries for more stories like this. Thank you for watching, and we will meet again in the next mysterious Hollywood story.